Hey, it's me, Cypher. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these. Life happened, kind of exploded. I now live alone. Welcome to my new house. Governance. I've been listening to the extreme right, speaking with people who claim to be conservative, listening to conservative people. I have a number of questions. There seems to be a difference between conservative and Republican. Okay. But when I listen to these conservative people talk about candidates and elections, I hear them back Republican candidates exclusively. Not libertarians, not Green Party, not Democrat, Republicans. Someone please explain this to me, how there can be a difference between conservative and Republican when conservatives back Republican candidates exclusively. Even when they say things like, I'm you. Smaller government. Inside the rhetoric, there's this theme of smaller government. They want smaller government. I would love a smaller government, and I would certainly love to pay less for it. But what does it actually mean? If smaller government means that there's less people at the NEC or at the SEC to deal with securities frauds and Ponzi schemes, I'm not comfortable with that. Less police officers, less firefighters, less teachers, less people at the post office, less people at the DMV, not comfortable with that. Just because you could give me a smaller government does not necessarily mean it would be better government. Government's supposed to be the place where we go as a community, as a society, as a nation of people, nation of individuals, and solve the big problems. In order to solve the big problems, we're going to need people. Making government smaller in those terms, I don't understand how we can have better government and it be smaller. If it means that we have a smaller military and we stop adhering to the Bush Doctrine and invading countries preemptively, okay, I can hear an argument in there for that. I kind of like having a lot of school teachers. I would certainly like to have more of them if we don't mind. And if it means that I have to pay a little more for it in taxes, okay. But smaller is relative. And small, the word small is subjective. Exactly what do you mean by small government? I can hear an argument for it. I can't imagine it. Can someone please explain it to me? I hear socially conservative messages inside the rhetoric on the far right and coming from these individuals. Gay people can't get married. Okay. And we have to do something about the southern border with Mexico. Canadian border is fine. Southern border with Mexico, we have a problem. How does that work? Okay, there's an immigration problem. But according to official stats, the largest influx of illegal immigration comes from people overstaying their visas, not from people walking across the border or swimming in the ocean or the Gulf. I don't understand. And on the fiscally conservative side, the messages that I hear, the bailouts were terrible. I was not a fan of them. Either one, Bush or Obama bailouts, either one. I didn't like either one. I didn't like the form, didn't like the structure, didn't like the way that they bailed out companies that were already failing, did not allow companies that needed to fail, and allowed these really nasty, huge entities to remain intact and only get stronger. I'm not comfortable with it. My 401k seems to get bigger, though. The stock market seems to be growing. we still have an economy. It seems like the bailout served a function somewhere. And unemployed people became lazy, while at the same time, fiscally conservative people quote the unemployment figures like it was biblical chapter verse. But the unemployed people are lazy. How does that happen? When did that happen? Now, on a personal aside, I watched the shuttle Discovery launch today for 10 minutes. Discovery, this is its last voyage in outer space because the shuttle program is too expensive and it's the victim of cutbacks. But waging a war in two countries at a cost of $1 billion a day that we had to borrow money to do, that was all right. But the space shuttle program was too expensive. If you're a conservative and you care to, please explain these things to me. I would really like to understand. See you.